I got infected with HIV, my first time having unprotected sex, with another man. That was 27 years ago. I got infected because I wanted to know what it would feel like to be loved by another man. I wanted to believe that I was enough in his company. I got infected from a man who knew he had the virus in his bloodstream when he gave me his phone number on a piece of paper. In 1987, when someone gave you a piece of paper with their phone number on it, that was our social media. Today we have Grindr and Tinder and Scruff and OK Cupid and other apps for our smartphones that help us find and hook up with people faster than in any other time in modern history. They also, for some of us, embolden us to behave in some uncivil ways. When I'm on Grindr, the ways that guys ask me if I'm HIV positive are this. They'll say, "Are you clean?" To which I always respond the same answer. "I took a shower this morning." I know what he's going for. If I'm HIV positive, the implication is that I'm dirty. And if I'm dirty, then I'm still lost. I'm never gonna be enough. I was having a conversation on Grindr a couple weeks ago with a guy who asked the same question this way. Now, for your sake, understand, this is the actual screen on Grindr. I'm in orange, he's in blue, and he asks DDF, which stands for drug and disease free, with the accent on the second D for disease. He doesn't want to know if I've been vaccinated for the measles. He wants to know if I'm HIV positive. And if you're reading the screen, you'll see that he doesn't even wait for my response. He doesn't even ask me my results. He's rejected me before he knows me. You know me for a few minutes. He knows less about me, and he's already rejected me. He's not rejecting me, he's rejecting the virus. But the next person he talks to might not tell him the truth. Who knows about the people that you're speaking to on these apps? Are they telling you the truth? When I'm on Grindr, I always tell the truth if someone asks my status. These are the 5 responses I get when I tell my status. Sometimes, rarely, it's positive. They'll say, "Hit me up when you're free." I'm okay with that. That's rare. Most of the time, they block me. It's a blank screen. Or they won't talk to me anymore, which is problematic because I've taken to Grindr to educate people about safer sex. And if you don't ask me questions, I can't help you. But sometimes they do ask questions. Questions that an 8th grader should know the answer to. 8th grade level health. How much risk is there in oral sex, giving or getting? In 1991, in this country, at the height of the AIDS epidemic, when most of my friends died, we knew, they knew, 8th and 9th graders knew the answers to these questions. But today, in this country, whenever I travel, I can't find many students who know what the letters HIV stand for, or who know what the 4 fluids that transfer HIV. Or in this room, raise your hands if you know the most vulnerable mucous membrane in the body that receives the virus. I'm not seeing any hands. But we're on Grindr and we're on Tinder and we don't know how to prepare ourselves. The next answer I get is, "Want to breed it?" Or "breed me?" Or "Want to breed me, daddy?" It's a term for anal intercourse, or for the straight people in the room, for heterosexual, penetrative sex. But it implies unprotected. Why would somebody want to have unprotected sex with somebody who's admitted to being HIV positive? Maybe this guy who's asking to be bred already has HIV and thinks he can't get reinfected. Or maybe he knows about the meds that you could take before or after. Or maybe he actually wants to get infected. And why a person in 2015 would want to get infected with HIV, and there are many, is a whole other TED Talk, and it needs to happen. But regardless of the reason that somebody has unsafe sex, it speaks to a larger problem, which is an abject disregard for any other sexually transmitted disease or infection. The final response that I get is the most problematic. "I've never hooked up with an HIV positive person before." And if that's you in this room, to you I say, really? How do you know? At what point do we start telling ourselves the truth? How many people in this room have to get infected with HIV before we start protecting not just ourselves, but each other? So I told the med student my suggestions. I said what I've told you, and I've told him one more thing. The thing I wanted to hear from the man from whom I got infected 27 years ago. I told him, this med student, what I tell you today. You belong. You belong in this room. You belong on this campus. You belong in this world because you are completely loved as you are, with the words in your pockets, the mistakes that you make, and the contradictions and the desires that you hold on to. You are enough. And the part of you that's enough is the part of you that's listening to me speak right now and is saying, oh my God, I hope he's right. I want to be enough. That's the part of you that belongs. And that's the part that's enough. I said this to the med student on Grindr. And he wrote back to me and he said, I got tested today. You made me less scared to do it. That's another life saved because of kindness, because of taking the time to notice somebody else. The goal here for all of us is to see the magnificence in other people. It's not to objectify people on these apps, and it's not to take advantage of their vulnerability because we happen to have a naked picture of them in our cell phones. It's to see their magnificence, their beauty, your beauty, so that you will see it in yourself, know it in yourself, and not be lost anymore, but actually know that you are enough. Lost as a child's first thought. I must have arms to hold me. Lost without loving care. Sleep with me if you dare. Thank you.